Today we're running over 100 miles by boat from Miami all the way down to the Florida Keys, and we're showing you everything it actually takes to do it, how much fuel this trip really burns, what this run actually costs, the safest route to take, even the locals only route most people don't know about. But this trip almost went very wrong. At one point during the run, I found myself in a dangerous situation where I genuinely thought that there was a chance I could sink the boat. And when you're on the water in the Florida Keys, there's no pulling over to the side of the road. So in this video, we're documenting the entire trip from start to finish, fuel stops, navigation, sandbars, dangerous shallow water, the best route through the Keys, and what you need to know before attempting this run yourself. If you ever wanted to run your boat from Miami to Islamorada, this video is going to show you the real experience. Let's go.
What is up, everybody? It is Memorial Day weekend and we are at the boat ramp, and we are headed down to Islamorada for Memorial Day weekend. It's gonna be a nice little trip. It's a little windy out today, and we actually launched at Bayfront Park, which is the furthest public boat ramp. That's the most southern boat ramp here in the county. And you can see the people already, they're ready to go. It's a party weekend. Not too sure how long I'm gonna be out here, maybe one night, 2 nights, I'm not sure. But I will be spending the night over at the sandbar. I have a couple things that I like to prepare for trips like this, especially on long ones. Besides all the stuff that you guys have seen in my videos where I'm, all my camping gear. First thing, right, when I'm on the boat already, I've already got all my safety equipment packed and everything. I make sure that I got all my extinguishers and flares and all those things that you need. Full tank of gas. One of the things that I like to do is I do a pre-check around the boat, just make sure everything is good. I have my motors running the day before, make sure the batteries are charged up, all of that stuff. But specifically when it comes to running the boat on trips like this, and even if you're by yourself like I am most of the time, a jacket like this, a life jacket like this is necessary. You just never know, anything could happen. You could hit something, you hit a tree, you hit anything, a wake that might knock you off the boat. You gotta have this on, and with that said, you gotta have the lanyard on, and I keep this the safety kill switch on my ankle at all times. One of the things that I like to have is my Navionics app, right? And this app is great. It's my GPS, basically what I use. That's how I navigate on my boat without having a GPS. I have that. And then the other thing that I have is safety circle. Now my buddy Alfred Montanero is a good friend of mine. He's created what's called the safety circle, and since I do a lot of boating on my own, he's created an app that's still in its beta stage, and what it does is it allows people to track you while you're out on the water, and it notifies them through text whether you lose service, and it'll send the actual coordinates of where you're at. So even if your battery's low, it'll tell the person your battery level and things like that. It's probably one of the most important things, honestly, because you just never know what can happen, especially if you're navigating at night, you're fishing. Safety circle is really important. Gives your family members a little peace when you're out there in the water. Just a little peace of mind that they know where you're at, and it sends you the coordinates. If your battery runs out, it'll send you the coordinates of where the person was at. Safety circle is a big part of my checklist when I'm going out boating. And the reason why we came so far south is because from where we're leaving and where we're gonna meet a group of people, a group of friends over at Billy's Point, which is only 3 miles from this boat ramp, but I just didn't want to have to cross the entire bay and get beat up. So 3 miles versus 20, I'll take the 3 miles. I'd rather trailer the boat down south and use the fuel in my truck. Like I do in all my videos, I'm gonna give you the breakdown of this entire trip, how much my food costs, how much the boat ramp costs, how much everything costs to get out here and spend Memorial Day weekend out on the water. It's gonna be about a 100-mile round trip from Billy's Point to Islamorada and back. We're gonna be doing it in the bay. So we're gonna go through the Intracoastal waterway all the way down to Islamorada. You got the sun coming up. Even a bad day on the water is better than a good day on land. All right, let's head out. So we made it over here to Billy's Point, and we're gonna head out at 8 o'clock. It's 7 o'clock right now, so we're early. And that island you see there, that chain, is Elliott Key, and that's all that here. One of the longest chains of continuous island sound here. And that goes all the way down to Ocean Reef. I'll show you some of the landmarks like Alabama Jacks, you know, Cartson Road, Bridge, Ocean Reef, and all those things, and Jewfish Creek. So, got a little problem. My bilge pump took a crap, and before we head out, I gotta change it out to this spare one that I have. Always gotta have a spare bilge pump, because you just never know, man. You know, water does come in this boat, so it's a flats boat, so imagine. So we're trying to troubleshoot now, snap the fuse. I guess I must have hit this. That's the problem with these switches being up here. You hit the switches sometimes and you don't notice. And I guess it was running dry and it burnt out. It's never happened before, but it's the first time for everything, and you always gotta have a backup. So it is what it is. Look what actually burnt up the impeller of the bilge pump. Look right here. Got twisted up in there and it burned it out. This is the junk that gets stuck in the mesh screens of your bilge pump. That's why you always gotta have a spare. You just never know. Alright, so my spare took a crap, and luckily my buddy had a spare, and his is legit. And this is what you want. This is the setup right here that you want. Ready to go with the clamps for the battery. Luckily I don't have a lot of water in there and I'm good, so I'm ready to go. So it's almost 8 o'clock. We're about to head out. Guys, that goes to show you how one simple little tie wrap, a piece of plastic, can just screw up your whole day, or it could really put you in a bad spot when you're out in the water. That's one of the things you gotta check, is your bilge pumps. Make sure the bilge is clean. That's why it's important. Yeah, your life could depend on it, you know.
So as we head east-southeast through the Intracoastal waterway, we're going to enter what's called Card Sound, as you see up here on the screen. It's important as you're traveling down the Intracoastal waterway to make sure that the red marker stays on your right side and the green marker stays on your left side or your port side. As you see here, over here you'll see me pointing out what is called Ocean Reef Club, which is a very high-end private community, and it sits in the northern end of what is Key Largo. As we move through Card Sound, you won't see any navigational aids for a minute. You'll just see the bridge. Head towards the center of that bridge. On the right side of that bridge, you'll see what is Alabama Jacks, which is a popular destination for grabbing some food. And you're getting to the Card Sound Bridge. You can actually pass under this bridge at full speed. There is no no-wake zone. One thing that I do like to mention is to stay inside channel markers. There is a quick left that is done right here, as you'll see. You want to stay within those markers because there are flats on both sides and you don't want to end up on the flats. And we're actually entering currently Barnes Sound. To my right side, you'll see Everglades National Park, and to my left, you'll see the northern part of Key Largo. And we are headed towards Jewfish Creek, which is off in the distance. It's extremely important that you stay on the markers here, keeping the red markers on your right side, as you saw there, and the green marker on your left side.
So I had to use the emergency bilge pump because that cross wave, I was taking way too many waves over the bow, and so I got that set up. I'm gonna stop now in a second and try to get all the water out. I should be fine inside here in the sound, but I had to slow down. I thought I cracked my hull for a second. I get one big hit, and it just wasn't good. It was kind of scary. So I know the boat's limits, and I was definitely pushing them. We just passed US 1. There's Gilbert's right over here, and now we're going through the Intracoastal waterway. Got the houseboats over here. So just meeting up with everybody, and we're gonna head out.
Once you've passed Gilbert's, you're into what's called Blackwater Sound, and you're gonna follow the Intracoastal waterway till you get to Dunsbury Creek. It's important when you're traveling through these creeks to stay on the right side of the channel for oncoming boats that might be popping out of the corners. As you pass the creek, you come into what is called the Tarpon Basin. You will see Key Largo here to my left. And you will be entering another creek named Grouper Creek. Same rules apply as you're coming into these channels. Coming out of Grouper Creek, you come into what's called Button Sound. You will traverse this sound and you will reach Baker's Cut. Once you cross Buttonwood, you will approach Ram's Horn Cut. This is where your trip can deviate towards Toilet Seat Cut or Cowpens Cut. You will see me here turning to my port side, heading towards Toilet Seat Cut. If this is your first time heading down to Islamorada or the Keys, I don't recommend that you pass by Toilet Seat Cut unless you have somebody that you know that can guide you through, only because there's very little draft here and you want to pass on high tide, as there's only about a foot of water or so. If not, you could just continue through Cowpens Cut. It's a very scenic route, and really it doesn't take off too much off your trip, maybe a quarter of a mile to half a mile at most. And once you get through Toilet Seat Cut or Cowpens Cut, you come into what is called Cotton Key Basin. This is the final cut before coming into Whale Harbor Cut, which is where the Islamorada sandbar is.
All right, we made it to the cut here. This is the Alamar sandbar right after this bridge. You have Marine Patrol right over here as well. So basically, it looks like they're getting people for not slowing down at the no wake. And you can see he's watching. You just gotta follow the rules, man. 300 feet from the sign, just slow down. So the Islamorada sandbar consists of this side, and then you have this side as well. Everybody wants to hang out on this side of the cut. This side over here is muddy, and everybody pulls up here. Then they look over to the opposite side. Alright, it's afternoon. We're gonna make some food, but I'm not gonna do it on my boat. I'm gonna use my buddy's grill, one of the viewers of the channel. Cooking up some burgers here at the sandbar. Got my buddies here, viewers from the channel. They came out with us on the ride from Miami all the way down to the Islamorada sandbar. Gustavo, you guys know him, Alamar Miami. It started to die down, but we're gonna eat. We're having a good time. And it looks like I'll be heading back tomorrow. The weather's kind of wild, so. I have the light on because it's nighttime and I'm not in my boat because look at the wind, it's just out of control. You can see that the wind is blowing. There's my little boat up there. It's just way too it's way too rough to sleep in it. So here, check this out. There, got my sheets, and I'm nice and covered from the wind out here so I can sleep. It's been a great time with all these guys. Some of these guys is their first time ever camping on the boat and sleeping on the boat. They got center consoles. One guy has a center console cabin, and they all watch the channel. And I think it's amazing that these guys have come out here and you know, tried something like this for the first time. And I'm just happy to share that with them and kind of give them an insight into what it is that we do, like me and my buddies do when we're out on the boat. And I wish all of you can experience that because it's just a ton of fun. And I hope they comment on these videos too. So, and I look forward to having them on other trips as well. So I'll see you guys in the morning, and if anything happens, I'll keep you guys posted on here. So I'll see you. Winds picked up last night. We're gonna try to head out early. It's gonna get really bad. Guys, Sunday, Memorial Day weekend. The jet skis and the boats are starting to get here. It's 8 in the morning. It's really like 7:30 in the morning. We're just letting off. This power pole saved all of us. If you guys are going to sandbars with sandy bottom, muddy bottoms, I highly recommend these power poles, pole anchors. They're amazing. They've held all of our boats together, and they've held all night with all this wind. We've had gusts of like 20-mile-an-hour winds. So I got 50 miles to get back home with some wind, so it's going to be interesting. I'm going to see how I navigate behind my buddy C-Ray all the way home. And, try to make it as comfortable as possible. My bilge pump, I'll show you what I did to it. So I have this set up down here, so in case I need to just connect it to the battery right away, I can. The wire goes through here. I have that set up in the corner. The hose wraps around and it connects right to the through hole that I had before, so it's perfect, as you can see there. So just cover that. Water usually doesn't come in here unless I like slow down real quick. We're ready to go. I got my engine on. We'll head out and hopefully this ride is good. All right, so I got my jacket on. I have my life vest on. I always like to put my lanyard around, either on myself or on my leg, something. I use 6 gallons to get down here, so super fuel efficient. I have 20 gallons of fuel. If you guys are coming down here, you can fuel up here at the tiki bar. I'm also gonna put a list of places that you can fuel up all the way going back up to Miami, ending at Gilbert's. There's a bunch of places, Founders Park, all these places have fuel. Like if your boat has a smaller gas tank, I got a lot of questions from people with like Yamaha jet boats and stuff. You can always stop to fuel up for gas. You could always bring jerry cans of gas as well. You can do it. It's not that bad. Just pick a better weekend. Now on the way back home, it's pretty much the reverse of what you do. You don't have to go through Cutler cut. We're gonna see how the tide is when we get back. So it's basically just the inverse. You know, now you got to contend with the wind on the opposite side. So. All right guys, we arrived at Gilbert's. This is US 1 up here, and this is the halfway point from where we're at. So after Gilbert's, there's really no place to fuel up unless you go into like Ocean Reef and stuff like that, but I think that's a private club. I don't know if they allow for public fuel up. I like the Navionics app because it shows you where the fuel pumps are all through the Intracoastal down in the Keys. So it's a great little help. I'll put it up here on the screen so you guys can see it. They have fuel here, over there, and then they have fuel here too. So you have an option on both sides. Guys, we just got back from Islamorada. We're here at Bayfront Park, and this is what I've used in fuel. 12 gallons. So I'm gonna leave you with some footage here of me riding in the boat, doing some crazy maneuvers, and I'll do a breakdown of all the costs for everything so you guys can see. Check that out. Fun trip. Weather sucked. Check out some of this footage.